Good morning. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We're powered by Advanced Trading. We have an exciting show for you. May not be the numbers that you want when you look at the grain market. We're consistently trading higher sometimes at night, and then they're selling the open. That's the real market. Those are those hedge funds and those CTAs getting in and out, the funds, as you say. So there's a night market, there's a day market, and things change often and quickly here. Real quick news, when we go through the headlines today, there's a chance the economy's slowing down, and we'll talk about that a little more in depth. But a fan favorite, John Deere, all the emails flying around and all the tweets. Did you hear John Deere laid off people? So with that, let's take a little walk down LaSalle Street. Let's look at where the markets are right now. Then we'll go to Wall Street, and then we'll bring Connor B in the show. With that, Joey G, Wall Street, LaSalle Street, it is a street I'm so familiar with. All right. Corn down 1, D's corn down 3/4. Soybeans, July soybeans up 3.5. No beans down 1. Those were up a lot more a little earlier. Soybean meal up, oil up, but wheat doing wheat things, which is now down several days, a down market in wheat. We'll see if we close there. We'll look at a chart here in a little bit. Border trade wheat down 7.5. KC wheat down 9. Hard red spring down 8. Taking it over to the meats, live cattle, June cattle up 20. Watch the difference between the cash and the futures on that June cattle as they get closer to expiring. Feeders down 20, lean hogs down 30. Poor price action on those hogs. People are going to be disappointed in that. Brother Joe, take us to LaSalle Street. Gold up 14, silver up 10, 2-year, 10-year, 5-year, 30-year, all the notes, bonds, anything to do with interest rates. The bond market's rallying, which means interest rates are going down. A good thing for people. Natural gas up 76 as we come into summer. Keep an eye on that natural gas price as this heat comes and goes. Crude oil up 30, $73 crude oil. Can you buy $2.99 gas in your local hometown? Dow Jones futures down 70, NASDAQ on fire up 150, S&P up 15. Bitcoin a little quiet today, 71,000 up 200. Dr. Copper bouncing a little, but it had a bad day yesterday. Bring him in, Connor B. Hopefully he's got full steam internet there in Assumption, Illinois. What's our D-Day for fiber?
I don't know. It's still 200 feet that way. They're working. I haven't seen any construction though, so I'm afraid it's close. I've pre-signed up, but it might take a while.
Well, it's going to be a wonderful thing. I don't have fiber, but I've been in places where they do, and it's just incredible. I think they're putting fiber in our whole subdivision, actually.
I'm about 2 weeks away from getting it in my house. It doesn't help us for ATI Pro Media, but I'll be able to stream Netflix pretty fast.
Now you will be able to be watching all the tractor tales with the kids and Netflix and everything else. Do you have any good headlines? A little quieter news day. We jumped on set around 8:15, 8:30. We looked at a couple things. We're like, what are we going to talk about? And so back to you, my friend. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah, I don't know if I have good headlines, but we've got some headlines. We talked about this. John Deere is laying off more employees. It's going to cut production and looking to lay off its salaried workforce. So this comes on the back of what was the stat, Tommy? It was 650 people they've already laid off, but they continue layoffs. They're going to cut production. It's probably a good testament to where the ag economy is right now, right? Farmers are not even close to as profitable as we've seen 2 years ago. And I think tractor sales, equipment sales reflect that. So you hate to hear it, but I guess I would say it's not unsurprising either to me, Tommy, that we're seeing these cutbacks in these equipment dealers and John Deere.
Yeah, I imagine it's not much different on the auto sector either, depending on certain vehicles, the price range. And I don't know anything that's affordable anymore when it comes to automobiles. But interest rates doing what they are supposed to do. Remember when they say, the Fed's going to raise rates, but it could take 12 to 18 months for it to kick in? Those 750 people, that's part of that 12 to 18 month campaign. And so as we come into the election, and any candidate, regardless of party affiliation, wants to say they made the economy great, they're going to do everything they can to try to keep things going. But the indicators, kind of like your check oil light or something else, there's some lights starting to pop up on the dashboard that are saying, cautious, you might want to bring this old girl, the American economy, in for a checkup and see how she's doing.
Yeah. Great segue into our next topic. Looking at U.S. growth and GDP, we're seeing big cutbacks there, Tommy. Weaker than expected data. GDP projection for Q2 was halved in a week from 3.4% to now 1.8%. And they also revised Q1 GDP to 1.3%. So stock market doing good. I think you said it was still up. I haven't looked
Yeah,
today.
Dow's down 100, Nasdaq's up 140. So
Yeah.
a big divergence between Dow stocks and the Nasdaq today.
Yeah. But then looking at GDP, right? Do we start talking about it? I don't even want to say it, but the headlines when we were reading this about GDP was talking about a recession, Tommy. So we've got a long way to go. We've got an election coming up, but that's kind of the sentiment. Emails that we were seeing was talking about that lower than expected GDP. What are your thoughts?
We, the way a friend of mine says it, that if you're rooting for interest rates to come down drastically, what that would mean was that the economy collapsed so fast that they had to lower interest rates to spur growth. So there's no doubt coming out of COVID, 4 years after COVID, this is about the time when the economy was opening back up, June, July of 2020, and we've done nothing but spur the markets for a few years, and then we watch for the next 2 years the effect of that. So are we happy things are slowing down? It depends where you are. If you're an employee of John Deere, no. If you're trying to buy a home and you want to watch the cost come down and the interest come down, and for the love of God, that 5 contractors need to show up that day, and they all show up because they actually need a job. We were at a point where people were just paying an insane amount to get normal everyday things done, and it looks like the workforce is balancing out. Things have in life and markets, we go too high, we go too low. We overshot this one, Connor, and there's going to be a correction, or there will be a terrible reaction. Like if they want to keep the economy hot, we're going to have huge inflation. So it's pick how you want to get punched, right?
Yeah, exactly. So speaking and looking at that, Tommy, I'm staring at a corn market that when I get in the office, it's unchanged to up a little bit. And by the time the market opens, we're selling off. Right now, D's corn down 1, July corn down 2. It feels it is a commodity market. Soybeans are still positive, but we're about 8 cents off the high. We're talking a commodity market that we can't find any bullish news. And my gosh, it feels like it cannot get over that hump right now.
No, it's I remember when my youngest daughter was born that I became really bullish at the end of May and June. And I had my ideas why I wanted to be bullish. And I remember that I should have been happy that my daughter was born and I lost a lot of money. So that stayed a lot of money. And that stayed with me. And when I tell you to not get, I said it on this show, I said it on the premium, it probably sounded like flat price advice. But when I told you no great fortune has ever been made at the end of May and June with this much moisture. Now, if you're the person who's having PP or a problem, you don't find this at all, it doesn't make sense to you. But there's enough moisture out there to grow enough bushels, and there's heat coming that we have a chance of a good crop. But even if we don't grow just a perfect crop, where's the demand, Connor? Are you seeing the demand?
It's not there. It is not there. We talk a lot about soybean demand, but on the corn export side too, we're lacking, especially on soy. Looking at soybeans, here's the hope, right? If we want to be a soybean bowl, it's that
Oh, Joe, play the bull bear tape. Come on, find it. Play the bull bear. We're talking soybeans, bull bear. Here it goes.
when we're looking at soybean exports, they're trying to get it up, right? We're seeing saw a headlines that southern part of Brazil where they had the historic flooding. We're looking at soybean losses at 2.7 million tons. Okay, ranges between 2.8 and 3 million metric tons. And so you equate that. Where's the stat at? 2.7 tons. That is roughly Illinois. Give me 1 second, Tommy.
Yeah, no worries.
The southern states, 717 million bushel is what they're going to produce. Last year, Illinois raised 649 million bushel. So it's a big soybean producing state. And here's the hope is if we see the lack of production in Brazil, South America, right, we're going to have to fill that gap on exports. But that's not going to come probably till later in the year, right? November, December. So if we're going to be a hedger of this market, keep those dates in mind, right? Generally, it was a good time to hedge soybeans last year, and it'd be one that's definitely on my calendar this year. A lot of factors, and we got a long way to go before we get that, and especially on U.S. production. but it's something that's in the back of my head. And so still seeing big losses due to that flooding in southern Brazil.
Absolutely. And the world was not running out of corn, wheat, and beans. We have a little extra to give up. On the bearish side of that is that some of these PP acres, I've talked to clients across Iowa, and the last 100 that they were waiting to put in, they're just throwing beans into it. So I don't know that we're going to have that much PP across America. I mean, we've had some extreme rains in Texas, could affect cotton and some corn acres down there. The corn was already in, but the cotton could be affected very much. But the North Dakota became extremely wet. I'm not so sure they're going to go PP or plant till, June 15th or keep putting some in.
Right.
A PP acre makes for life to be really difficult the next year from agronomy standpoint. Speaking of
Yeah.
making life difficult, we're talking about next year. Let's talk about your meeting here we have next week. Is that 1 week from today?
1 week from Thursday. 1 week from
Okay, so we
tomorrow.
have a crop report 1 week from today. That's what we
That's
need to
right.
talk about too.
Yep. So gonna do a live taping. Myself, you, Brady's probably gonna remote in. I don't think he's gonna make the drive from Kansas. But doing a meeting, live taping. It's gonna be it's the first time we've done this, so it's gonna be a little bit of a practice run. So if we have any hiccups, please save the laughter for after. But gonna do a live show, breakfast, do a fundamental review from our research team, and then a roundtable discussion, do lunch, and get out of there. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, Tommy.
Should be a good time, folks. If you need, we have 7 more spots left for that. Connor's bringing clients. I'm going to bring a few clients down, and then we have 7 open spots. If you're out there on the interweb, if you need hotel reservations night before, the event is free, but you need to get your butt down there, and that one's on you. All right. With that, speaking of events, we did premium yesterday. We had some really nice positive feedback. We gave some very, very specific advice. I didn't have, I should have put your picture in there too. That would have been a better picture, Connor. But I look angry there. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we bought corn calls yesterday, and without giving away the whole episode, we talked about 20 minutes. But why did we buy corn calls yesterday? It's not because we're bullish. Just for the heads up, there, people.
Yeah, it was a little bit right. If we had any type, I don't know how. Stop me if we don't want me to give too much away. But it was a little bit. If we had some short call positions on, right? The equity, the time values out of those calls have did their job. It's time to lift those so we're ready for anything that happens in the next 4, 5, 6 months. That was the idea, right? Did I sum that up, Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, my book of business put on we strongly recommend people to do a huge hedge for 24 several times last year, and people did it. And we took that call off, not because we don't think corn's going a lot lower. We still in the put, but and we explained the math very, very, what day we did the trade, why we did the trade, what the margin risk was. This was marginable trade with a short call, and we broke it through. And then we talked about, and you and I, maybe today or tomorrow, hopefully today, we're going to talk about how we did this again on the Deere 25 scenario just a few weeks ago. And these are all texted out on texted lines and everything. But I don't want anyone to think all our clients do this, right? It's not like we say do it and you have 100 clients and 100 do it. It's the people who like to hedge. So if you're out there and you like to hedge, you're not afraid to send in a check if the market keeps going up. You're going to write the check one way or the other, folks. And let me repeat that for you in the back of the room. You're going to write the check one way or the other. If you don't want to write the check for the insurance, then let me remind you that Dee's corn's down 1, beans are now down 4, and the whole grain board's rolled over, and the whole outside market's starting to take risk off also now too. So you may not write the margin check, but you may sell your bushels 50 cents a dollar lower. And I hate to be a jerk, but that's true. I mean, spin it any different way. Folks, if you're out there and want to comment and say, no, I don't mind storing my bushels for 9 extra months to sell it a lot lower, go ahead and tell me why it's good. I know why it's good, because we won't owe taxes. There we go. But that money being held by the farmer is the very reason they're not buying the tractor, because they're actually keeping their cash in the physical grain. And that's something really important to remember.
Absolutely. I always say if we're putting together a marketing plan, the first thing we have to admit to ourselves is be aware of our long position we have on. If you've got 23 crop, hopefully it's gone. If you've got 24, odds are we've got a big chunk of 25, right? We are long this market. Equate that to bushels. You can put a cash value on it. So then if we're risk managers, that's what we're doing is how do we manage, how do we offset that long position, and when do we make sales? So to me, it's always step one is make
Yeah.
sure we're aware
Can
of
we
that.
admit to a little addiction Wednesday here? I just want to say my name's Tom Grisafi. I'm addicted to caffeine, and I've had zero caffeine
Oh
today,
man.
and I feel like a drugged puppy. I'm telling you, I
I
need
got
I need I need the coffee.
Well, we'll get you some. Headline we forgot to pop in, Tommy.
Mhm.
June 5th, today is Prevent Plant Day in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, maybe Missouri. I can't remember if it's all those, right? May 31st, or was it the 25th, was the Dakotas. And now we're seeing the southern states like Illinois. And so today's Prevent Plant Day. And, the last time in Illinois that we saw the big Prevent Plant discussion was really 2019. And it was a completely different conversation than today. Number one, we had a lot more acres to plant as of June 5th than we do today. But then also, the price was rallying. It felt like we were really on a bull rally. Now, we know this year is that the rug got pulled out from underneath of us at the end of summer. But this year, when you look at these lower prices, if you have a little bit that could go into PP, I'd be interested to see the math and see what the thoughts are. Around me, we're not going to see much PP. Dr. Schonkweiler put out a chart. I should have pulled it in here about acres left to plant versus last year. We've still got a little bit in Illinois, Iowa, but I gotta think we had some workable days the past 3 days. So it'd be interesting to see where planting progress is next week and what we'll see that final PP number be.
Right, and I also think when the clock strikes, the June 5th, they don't go, it's June 5th, I'm done. I mean, if the weather's nice, it's warming up, it's been abnormally warm here in where I live in Valparaiso, or maybe it's just a normal summer warm, but 87 light breeze, boy, that can clear a lot of things up for people. My phone is not ringing with a ton of people saying it's an absolute disaster. May have not went in ideal conditions. It may have not this, may have not that, but it now has moisture. If we can get heat, we can really do a lot of damage, or not damage. We can, do a lot of growth. The
Yeah.
truth is, you can't ruin the crop on June 2nd. You may not have it all in, but if 95% of the crop is in, that may be enough to just get us to go by. That just shows you how much old crop we have. Any questions, comments out there, shoot them in. We're going to look
Yep.
at a couple charts. Jojo, bring in Deese corn. We're really getting close to those support lines. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So you got that line. You draw that at 458, Tommy, is where we're looking at support. And so we are flirting it. We've done a good job the past couple of days of staying above it. Right now, D's corn's at call it 461 if I'm rounding up. But I think we really got to find support there because after that, we're getting into 2024 lows. And from there, if we don't get the bullish sentiment, we could definitely be going below that. But so I look at 458, that really needs to be 458, 459. I think right in that range is where I see support, Tommy.
Yeah, let me look at a Deese $4 put. I know this is gross to think we can go down there, but the other day on premium, we were talking about Deese $4 puts were 4 cents. You know where they are now? 6 cents, right? Someone's willing to pay 300 and some dollars to have a floor from 4 to I used to say 0. I'll say to infinity now, right? Because we watch crude go negative. And yeah, there are people paying 300 and some dollars to have a floor from 4 to 0, just to really make people disgusted and get you thinking. This is disgusting Wednesday because I didn't have coffee. A Deese 350 put is 1 and an 8. All right, now let's just really get to the crazy level here. Who's trading Deese $3 puts? And part of the reason I'm bringing this up is that all these options are trading. So here, I'll buy some right here. I am the quarter bid here. Quarter bid, 1/4 of a penny to own corn to have corn protected from 3 to 0. So although we talk about the current futures market, you see that there's a wide range of options that trade, and take it the other way. I mean, I feel like we're doing a premium content, but if corn's trading 450, say I'm really, really, really bullish. I know corn's going up. I don't know how they know it. Like that guy who called Tom Berry really knows a lot of stuff. But anyway, for 8.5 cents, you can own these 550 corn calls. You got about 160, 170 days till expiration. You have unlimited upside for $450. So If you're really worried about going down, it costs 6 cents to protect it. If you're really worried about going up, it costs 8 cents to protect it. And that's a whole separate episode why it's a little different there.
Right.
If you split the middle, right? If corn's $4, you look at the $3 put and you look at the $5 put. Why is that $5 put call cost more? And there's reasons for that. With that, there's still risk in this market. I hate to beat a dead horse, but we got a couple hundred people watching, and I'm in a good mood. But there's risk in this market. So because we might have said something that upset you, and we don't want to hurt your feelings, we're going to give you a flag. All right. So if you're out there, give us a call. 1-855-737-FARM or email us at info@ATI Pro Media if your feelings were hurt or anything else. We got 3 flags going out today. Summer intern Sawyer's going to the post office, and he's going to mail those flags out. I love sending flags to clients, potential clients, friends of the show. Makes me happy because these are good American patriots. These are people who love America. And what they do is they get that flag and then they text us back a picture and then we put it up on the show. So if you love America and you want a free flag, we'll give away one because we showed what a decent $3 put cost today. Anything else, sir?
I was going to say, if you want to look at more charts, this wheat, if we want to look at Board of Trade wheat down 11 right now, down 10, I'm sorry, just looking at July wheat. And so really correcting back from getting close to that $7
Look what it's getting
range.
close to do. Red line being your 200 and green being your 100. Those two are getting real close to converging. That would be support, right? So Board of Trade wheat coming down to that 625 level, another 20 cents till we hit support. The one of the many mysteries of the world, I never understood why it was rallying just because they all were, but Minneapolis wheat, I didn't see the story there. The crop went in conditions that on condition reports, we should have been gapping open 10 cents lower, but we are now below the 200 and approaching the 100. So folks in spring wheat, got about another 10 cents till support. But you're out there in the farming ag community, shouldn't be worried about support. You should be worried about selling. The end user's worried about support. If you're North Dakota mill, sure, you're the largest mill in America. You'd want to know a good level. You could buy some wheat, maybe make a basis a little better. But in the for the person growing this stuff, we want to be selling and protecting. Real quick, do you think we'll be able to have Dr. Larry on premium later and get a little South American update? Maybe you could work that out.
You mean Dr. Cruz?
Doctors say, well, we got so many doctors we work with. I get so confused. I tell you, the mind's not working without the drugs. So, Luke, what do you got for me? You got medicine? All right, go ahead.
Deere is moving mid-frame skid steer and compact truck loader manufacturing from Dubuque to Mexico to cut costs. While skid loaders are big in ag, they are even bigger in construction. So, yeah,
they just don't make tractors and other stuff. They make a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
be interesting. I'll have to contact. We have a large ag equipment sector in North Dakota. You drive through Fargo, and I see Bobcat. I see this. I think skid steer. I think Bobcat. But there's a lot of great brands up there producing stuff, and let's hope those jobs are staying up there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Any other questions, comments?
Brady Huck, 200-day moving average, quite a bit below us in KC wheat.
Oh, let's see what he's talking
you just
about.
had you had Minneapolis.
I had Mini. Yeah. So I have the KC here, 200. See if this is right for Brady. We're getting real close here. I think that's what he's talking about right there around that 664. This rally was super charged by KC. Now, what's wild is we're going to come right into harvest. I mean, they have an explosive rally with another country having a production problem, and you were never having a production problem with your old crop. So if you owned old crop, this was a gift. If you are growing new crop, this was a gift. This is a Russia problem. From Russia with love. Thank you, Russia. So with that, hey, speaking of, I say Russia and I want to say China. Did you see that all the phones were down yesterday? Verizon and AT&T. We had major cell disruption all across America.
No,
yesterday.
I didn't even see a headline.
Oh, yeah, we had big outages, big outages and all types of tech problems with tens and tens of millions of people were having cell trouble here or there. So something interesting. I would imagine they say other countries, China, Russia, etc., can really hack into us and just, if they want to shut us down, they could do it in a second, whether it be the power grid or something else. Anyway, always good reason to have a generator, a little extra fuel, and of course, when you get your new flag, you'll be there too. What else do you want to talk about?
Other than that, I mean, we could keep. What do we
Remember we
cover?
said short show? We'll go 5-10
I
minutes.
know, I
We're at
know.
26.
We
My
covered
dad's
corn.
screaming in his chair right now, like, what's the matter with those guys? Someone
Joe's
shut them
doing
up.
this. He's like, get out of there,
Joe's like,
guys.
we got stuff to do. I need some coffee. Joe's saying wrap it up. All right, folks, if you're out there, if you have any ideas, anything you'd like to see for premium content, we'd love ideas. We got a couple new contributors we just sent headphones to. We have a new weather guy. We have all types of good people here. Of course, you can give us a call, 1-855-737-FARM, info@ATI Pro Media. Connor B., anything else you'd like to add before we end the show? Joe's saying wrap.
Looking forward. You mentioned it. Crop report out next, a week from today. And then we'll have the acreage report the end of June. Is that the 30th?
We'll check
the
it
end
out.
of June. And so, if we're looking forward, we'll pay attention to the crop report. That acreage report, right? That is a big one. And you want to talk about one that moved the market last year. Holy crap. But I'll make sure if you're putting together a marketing plan, make sure that's on your calendar and we're positioned appropriately before that. So looking forward, I'd be keeping
if you're coming down in the meeting on the following Thursday, we will be going out to supper on Wednesday night and testing all our cameras and equipment and mics and everything else. But we're ready to roll. All right. With that, Gina G wants to say thank you. Please like and subscribe to our channel. If you're interested in premium, give us a call. We can talk you through it. It takes about 45 seconds to sign up. Everyone have a great afternoon. I'm going to have a cup of coffee.
See you, Tommy.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.